Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Disco Elysium with me, Bring It On. Let's inspect this. Okay, doesn't seem like it's voice acted. An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. Who is this? The silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the Opulent, father of Philip IV, the Insane. What did this king do?
Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
In what way?
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
How did he manage to blow through the entire national treasury?
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person.
He called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. Wait, really? There's no way that's true.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
The what now?
You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry, he was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. Not just any nose candy though. We're talking Royal Philippian Blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays, and purple. Philippian cocaine was purple.
Okay, what is nose candy?
Cocaine.
So he was addicted to nose candy, a bloated druggie.
That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay.
This is a lot to process.
His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms.
Okay, where's he buried now?
Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum.
And what happened to the statue?
The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinaise was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces.
Who restored the monument?
Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit.
Yeah, that's such a bad idea.
People in Martinaise tend to agree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the Squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death.
Alright, let's talk to these pedestrians. Well, they might not be pure pedestrians. They might be associated with Joyce's quest. I'm gonna do one other thing first. I want to check to the south. I'm pretty sure after this guy, it's just a dead end, right? Yeah. Oh, there's a thing over here. Hot air rises up from the sewer. Sour, acidic, and strangely comforting. We should have gotten 1 experience from that, right? Yep, 1 point.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
The man mutters to himself, accenting the beats as he goes.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
Keep listening.
From another planet. Hey there.
He finishes and turns to you. What's going on here?
It's the jam, my man.
He motions towards a sprawl of lorries with a sweeping gesture. What's the jam?
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days.
He glances south.
Days.
Oh. He glances south, down the road. So how long have you been here?
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Extravagantly phrased, but I can roll with it.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
He snickers.
So tell me, what do you need?
Tell me more about this strike.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
What's the union demanding?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
What do you think the company wants?
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He makes a ka-ching sound. Anything else I should know?
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
All of who?
Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
He smiles awkwardly. Not you.
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
He glances down the road toward the horizon, a glint of something in his eyes.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
Know anything about the dead man? The one hanging behind the hostel there. I point at the yard.
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Busy with what?
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
And your conclusion?
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
What are you hauling anyway?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Okay, and what are you actually hauling?
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of found cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits, and that kind of thing.
He grins.
They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident, though we've been making headway in the Il-Moran market lately.
So, nothing illegal then?
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
That's your machine behind you.
This rockin' beauty. Sure is, like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
He points at the lorry with his thumb.
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
That a fallen A6 you got there?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
He gives the side of the lorry a friendly knock. Can I get one of those fallen tracksuits you're hauling?
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
Right. I had another question.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
You seem like a man who knows about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know?
He folds his hands behind his head and leans back.
But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
He pauses, letting the memory dissipate. Do you finance those other addictions with drug trafficking?
Hey, man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some sort of an entrapment thing on me?
Entrapment is a practice whereby an officer of the law induces a person to commit a criminal offense that the person would have otherwise been unlikely to commit, usually through some trickery, persuasion, or fraud.
Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs out of Terminal B.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
The lieutenant steps in.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Wait, then why are you still hanging around?
Gotta guard the stuff. Bosses don't look kindly on missing cargo, and it gives me time to work on my rhymes.
A rhymesmith? This is quite credible. It goes with its cadence and way of speaking.
Who do you think could be conducting the drug trade then?
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire.
I mean, 42% chance. I haven't had any luck with rolls in in a while. He's a poet. Hit him with your best verse.
Your best verse? You don't even have a bad verse in here. Just tumbleweed and liquor stains. Wait, no. What are you doing?
She broke me. She freaking broke me.
That's brutal, man. But you know, time will...
No, stop. He's already mortified.
No, Tommy. These are my rhymes. Listen. She screwed me till I bled.
That's,
In the name of God, what are you doing?
I'll never be the same again. She's always there. Screw the case. Screw everything. Total doom. I mean, it is a poem. It's not real, guys. It's not my actual thoughts. It's a poem.
Yeah, I get that, and it's cool, but...
Alright, let's continue. Already read that.
Yeah, I get it. These are your rhymes. They're from your life. Doesn't matter if they're robust, they're honest. So, thanks, man.
He doesn't know what to say, so he just repeats.
He's not lying. He liked the end.
Yes, and I also thank you for stopping. We have a drug investigation to return to. How about we do that?
He looks at you. I'm good for now. Good talk.
Don't be a stranger.
Gives it a salute with 2 fingers. I'm gonna use one of these. Not off to a good start with my morale on day 2. Alright, so I saw this guy sitting over here. Get a little peek over here as well. Alright.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your...
Excuse me, ma'am. I like to ask him questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Grandma?
Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is gray like lead.
Snap your fingers in front of her face.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Snap your fingers twice.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you've jolted her back to reality. Are you alright, ma'am? You were out.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
She sighs, and she adds with contempt. Wait, what's so bad about the 50s?
The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
She scoffs. Where else would you be then?
Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro.
The smile returns to her face.
Until you came along, that is.
The look she gives you is accusatory. Who's Gabriel Buenguerro?
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
She shows you the photograph in the lavish amber frame. Take a look.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all of his lines.
She leans back, saving the world she's conjured up. So I take it you were in Mesk when you were young.
Someone was.
She nods, as though her meaning were perfectly clear. Someone? Are these not your memories?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not?
She gets gruff suddenly.
They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She looks around. I'm sorry to interrupt your dreaming, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Lawman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden.
Her eyes narrow, and she appears to take your measure.
While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, in Methk, it was a golden age.
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional monarchy, and, as of recently, an outcast due to its tilt to the far right.
Right. I have some other questions for you. Police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing of her motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard.
There's something off about this woman. Tell her to show you the soles of her boots. Maybe she was at the hanging somehow.
What are you hauling?
Diamonds?
Diamonds. Really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
She says, grinning. Okay, but what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
She shrugs. So you don't know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
She smiles a careless smile.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
What if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's contraband, Lawman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Bad Hand, Hermenegildos's bad hand, strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
I still don't really understand this whole, is it Boadero? Boadero thing.
Of course not. To truly understand the Boyadero, you need to listen to On the Western Plain.
Boyadero.
The Boyadero, Boya for short,
Or Boya.
is a cow herder from upstream Magritte, the great steppes of northern Mesk. He is a rugged individualist and explorer.
Okay. What's that?
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as he returns from the western plain.
I'm guessing that doesn't happen.
Of course not. The boyadero returns from the western plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out walking along the river Magritte, she pleads with him to give up his riding and settle down.
In the background, you can hear the orchestra swell as the screen fills with the maiden's imploring eyes.
I think I see where this is going.
So the boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Magritte. Then he rides off, because the western plain is calling to him.
That's not where I thought that was going.
You have to understand. A true boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can't be tied down by man or woman. His beloved was selfish. She didn't know what it meant to love a boyadero.
What if to truly love a boyadero is to float lifeless downstream?
Before I came, you seemed away.
She's just a distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her things.
So he doesn't think she's a smuggler.
You hear that, Lowman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
Wait, why is that, Lieutenant?
Nothing. I just don't think she's connected to anything.
He doesn't want your frail mind caught up in something here. Something unconnected to the case, but connected to this woman tuning out like that.
Should you drive a lorry if you get like that?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one else will.
What routes?
Lomonosov's Land, Udashnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain,
She nods and closes her eyes again, letting her mind submerge.
the Transcatolia Magistral, U4-1A, Adestradas du Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly.
She opens her eyes again and shudders. I'm something of an expert in blacking out. You should take better care of yourself.
You're right, Lowman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously. Thank you for looking out for me.
She looks you over and scoffs.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Is that all you woke me up to say?
Show me the soles of your boots.
Now what do you want with an old woman's boots, Sheriff?
It's for important police business, ma'am.
I'm starting to think you should let me get back to Gabriel Buenguerro. You are no Gabriel.
She raises her boot slowly, with contempt, and says,
She's wearing sturdy worker's boots made of black leather. Buckles run across. The sole is also made of leather.
Now the other one, please.
Just before Gabriel, it was the coronation of Franco Negro. Now, there was a real man.
There's no aberration in the pattern that you can see. She puts her foot down.
Moreover, the boots were size 37. Tiny. There are too many discrepancies in all this. Another discrepancy, although not boot-related, is the coronation of His Innocence Franco Negro, which happened 500 years ago.
Wait, what do you mean it was the coronation of Franco Negro?
It was. And then it was no more. And I was no longer holding my father's hand. He was no longer descending the stairs in Ryle. The crowd had gone silent.
She shrugs.
Perhaps it was another Sheriff who came and woke me up, looking at my boots, asking questions. Or perhaps it was one of the others in this carnival. I don't remember.
As she says carnival, she gestures to the empty square with the statue and the machines.
Turn to Kim. She's not odd soul. These are not the boots that made the prince.
I could have told you that from just looking at them. The size is 37.
He takes a quick note.
The feet of a little girl, they fit well on the pedals.
She smiles. You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, No drugs can compare.
The adversary.
Yes, there is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
She gestures to the intersection.
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary, the great unrest. I don't like the sound of any of that. Sounds like a horrible drug. The worst one of them all.
That's not really what I was getting at.
Then what were you getting at?
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
I wanted to see if you'd be interested in smuggling some drugs.
Why would I want to do that?
For the glory of the World Republic, liberation of the spirit and body.
Loman, what in the name of God are you talking about?
Okay, let me put this another way. Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B?
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
Her shoulder bones crack as she shrugs. You said earlier you don't know what cargo you're hauling. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramirizza to Grad on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramirizza to Grad, Loman?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
It's diamonds, Loman, obviously.
She grins. I didn't ask you about diamonds, did I? I don't care about that.
Diamonds are good for you, Loman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras.
If you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. It's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
She squints across the square.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
Okay, if you're not involved with the drug trafficking, then why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
I think we're done here, no?
He closes the notebook to stress it. Well, thank you for now.
Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesky.
Her voice trails off.
Hey, psst.
Who? Me?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Again.
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
I can't argue with that.
So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true?
How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I haven't said anything like that.
Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
Wait first. What's this communism even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
Failure.
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers, million-headed armies of nations, and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade.
Alright, roll up your sleeves and start building communism.
Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Wait, what? Firing squads? You didn't say anything about those.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Roll your sleeves up further and breathe in the pristine air.
The 15th Indo-Tribe. Because there was. The 15th Indo-Tribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forberg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines. You may have been one of them. This must be a childhood memory. The 15th Indo-Tribe was your Indo-Tribe, set to rule in Cylinder. The rest of the kids are dead now. Car accidents and drug overdoses. Only you remain.
10 cents for every green orb clicked. Stacks really well with, forgot the name of it. The one that gives me +1 experience for every green orb clicked. Learning clap for savoir faire raised to 6. Then Mazovian socioeconomics. People think that communism was some crazy idea, that it's comeuppance 40 years ago. A fever that shook the world never to return again. They were right, until he woke up today. A spiritual corpse responsive only to the call of Commodore Red, prostitutes, and Krasmazov. For him, communism is still a thing. He will single-handedly raise the commune of O2 from the oceanic trench where it has been resting, covered in ghosts and seaweed. He's the big communism builder. Come witness his attempt to rebuild communism in the year 51. Alright, so we now have more thoughts than we have thought slots. So I have to start thinking about what to get rid of. We're still working on apricot chewing gum scented one, which I'm really excited to see the solution to. Interesting. Were those the only 2 drivers? To look out for later on, I guess. Alright. I'm gonna call it here, and the next one we'll continue towards this protest and see if we can't talk to the Union. And see if we can get their help in taking the hanged man down out of the tree. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.